Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. It's been a minute. Apologies here, but we are back. Zach Weiss across the Cavs post game following the Cleveland Cavaliers victory over the Denver Nuggets. By the way, the season has felt special from the get go, but my friends, the Cleveland Cavaliers are now 27-4. Now, it's a season where everyone expected the Boston Celtics to be clear-cut favorites, probably run away with the East in the regular season, coming off winning a title. You got the OKC Thunder cooking up in the other conference. They've only lost 5 games, all season. But the Cleveland Cavaliers, who lost to Boston in 5 games in round 2, no Jarrett, no Donovan. They didn't add any new players. They made a coaching change, obviously, brought Kenny Atkinson in. They said bye-bye JB Bickerstaff, and all of a sudden they're now 27-4. I mean, just unbelievable this season. I've been to Cleveland now to take in a game. The Cavs are 3-0, and I've attended in person. I mean, today, you think the 26-4 start is already pretty darn good, and then they're setting a new season high in scoring in Game 31. They also set a franchise record for most points in a road game. All 5 starters are in double figures. Mobley at 26 and made 4 threes. Garland at 25. Mitchell at 33. Really wasn't needed in the second half. Allen at 22 and 10. Really wanted to see him break out. They overcame the Joker triple-double, overcame Jamal Murray. And, with Aaron Gordon out, this team has absolutely no depth whatsoever. They lost their rookie Day'Ron Holmes II in the offseason. Denver is a mess. They have absolutely no depth on their roster. They dropped to 16 and 13. Honestly, stinks for Joker. You really want to see them do a little bit better because they've got the top 2 player in the world, a 3-time MVP, and they are probably going nowhere this season because their only addition was Russ, who still got it, but he's old and they have no youth at all. So, yeah. Let's talk about the Cavs. I mean, wow, guys. 27-4. Posted up a couple days ago. What do you guys think the Cavs record will be on the upcoming road trip? Got a lot of 4-0s, a couple of 3-1s. So far, so good. 40 in the first, 40 in the second. They gave up 70 in the second half, but they matched shot for shot. Cavs made 23 triples, 3 for Sam, 3 for Karras, 3 for Dean. Honestly, Dean Wade, 5 assists, 2 blocks, a team high, plus 19. When Dean Wade is healthy, they just win games. It doesn't matter if he's starting or coming off the bench. And just to get this out in the open, the Cleveland Cavaliers record for Dean Wade as a starter. I mean, did they lose? The only loss with Dean Wade starting was that Miami game on the 8th. They're now 12-1 when Dean starts. I mean, honestly, every stat that has a Cavs player in it this year, they don't lose. By the way, Dean Wade is 62-39 as a starter, and that includes winning remember when the Cavs were struggling 3 or 4 years ago, and they went on a 4-game winning streak, a 3 or 4-game winning streak when Dean got his first ever starts. When his beard was still coming in, he was just an undrafted rookie, and no one exactly in the NBA circles knew who Dean Wade was. Only the Wichita State, the Wichita guys, the Kansas Staters, they knew who Dean was. We didn't. Well, we did. Most people didn't, but he's a Cav, man. He is a dog on the court. Every time the Cavs have a guy go down, someone else magically just comes back or comes in. Max Strus didn't dominate. He had 5 points, 4 rebounds, an assist, and a steal, but he seems to be playing nicely. He doesn't need to be the Max Strus of last year, where he was playing 35 minutes a game, taking a whole lot more shots, because between Max and Karras and Sam and Niang and Jerome and Coro, if that ends up being the bench rotation, I mean, man. And by the way, can we show some love for Emoni Bates? Let's call him 3-Money. He has been hitting everything. He had 30 points on 7 threes in the most attended G League game in Charge history. today, where 5,100 people attended. Bronny James and the South Bay Lakers were in attendance, and Amani was just letting it fly. Look, he might not get in much this year. Hopefully, he gets a couple of games just to get in and try. I mean, they added so much. Honestly, coming in, thought Lou Travers could even have a role. He's been on two-way. JT Thor looks really good on a two-way. Truth be told, this entire roster is solid. Just mentioned 6 players before for that bench rotation. If Dean's a starter, none of them were named Jalen Tyson. Let's not forget the Rook, who has a bright future here. And look, unfortunately, with this new CBA, there will have to be some moves down the line to cut some salary somewhere. So we'll see what the Cavs end up doing and how they address that, so they don't have to forfeit future assets to maintain success of right now. But, I mean, they're winning at an unbelievable clip. I don't have any negative anything. They're 27-4. Yeah, I haven't done a pod here in a couple of weeks. Schedule's been kind of crazy, but I've been following everything with Justin Cleveland. As mentioned, went to a Cavs game in person last weekend. They handled the Sixers like it was nobody's business. By the way, Sixers are 2-0 since losing to Cleveland. And the way the Hawks have played, they came back from 18 down yesterday in 5.5 minutes. Makes me feel a hell of a lot better about those 2 losses that they had. Honestly, great they didn't get to play in the in-season tournament because they could focus on just winning the other games. No spotlight on them in that situation. And this season is just insane. How on earth do you take last year's team, same roster, plus Tyson and Travers, JT Thor, and now all of a sudden, none of them regulars, by the way, 27-4. Kenny Atkinson is the unanimous coach of the year. If Kenny Atkinson does not win coach of the year, we're going to riot, right? I mean, go to NBA HQ and say, what the heck? There's no other coach deserving of this award. Nobody. OKC is having an incredible season at 24-5 because Chet's missed games and Hartenstein was missing games. Give them a lot of credit because Chet played all 82 last year when they were top seed. He goes down, they win games without a center. It's insane, truthfully, that they've won like this. Give them a lot of credit, okay? But they were the 1 seed last year. They're supposed to be the 1 seed this year. Unless they break the Warriors' record from a few years ago, there is no chance that Daigneault's coach of the year. The Knicks are 21-10. Tibbs was supposed to win. They got Mikal and they got Kemp. Okay? The Cavs were the 4 seed, and they brought back the same key guys. They just changed coaches. This coach is their biggest addition, and this coach has them where they haven't been in 16 years. They only have been one other time in franchise history. And can we just say that, and it's known to those in Cleveland, to those outside, maybe not so much, the reason that in Cleveland, all the accolades and the wins and the records are compared to, LeBron and not LeBron, is because before LeBron came, there was a 6-year drought. The late 90s were not kind to the Cavs. They did get a playoff trip under their belt, a surprise one, 97-98, with 4 rookies in the rotation, multiple of which have been on the pod. Shout out to Brevin Knight and Seth Henderson, Sr. After that, LeBron comes. 3rd season, playoffs, takes him to 5 playoff appearances, including a finals, a couple of ECFs. He's gone. They don't even sniff the playoffs. He comes back, 4 straight finals. He leaves. And when LeBron leaves, it's lose a lot. And then they draft Garland, and it's lose a lot. And it's draft Okoro. And then it's draft Abaji and trade for Mitchell. And now, coming off a 2nd-round trip, they're looking way better than that. They've beaten the Celtics in the reg season. The only team that they struggled with, again, was the Hawks. That's it. No one else has been able to get to them and get after them. I mean, this is insane. I'm looking through all the posts that I threw up throughout the game, and it's going through the Cavs feed, and the energy. Thank you, Paramjot Sandhu. The energy is electric. Everyone in Cleveland is behind the Cavs. Everybody. Everybody. There are no naysayers on this Cavs success, except for, of course, Vegas. If anyone saw, the Cavs are actually tied for the 7th best odds to win the title as of a few days ago. Ha ha ha. Very funny. You got to respect the 27-4 start, man. Because they've done it to everybody. You have 1 loss to Miami, 2 to Atlanta, and 1 to Boston. Now, the big test for the Cavs, as we look ahead, it's going to be tricky. All right, upcoming schedule. Next 6 games. At the Warriors, at the Lakers, at the Mavs, and you host Charlotte. You host the Thunder on ESPN. A lot of people are going to be watching that on January 8th. You know, I will too. That's going to be an insane game. You got the Raptors the next day. You look a little beyond. You got Indy twice, OKC. You have another little mini trip to Minnesota. The schedule's not easy. You got a game in Philly. You have a game in Houston. You got Houston twice in 4 days. Nothing's easy in this league. You're going to have the Celtics coming up again in February, Minnesota the same week. You do play every team in the league at least twice. That's how it works right now. But let me just say, going to wrap this up. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Late Night Cavs. See if we do it again on Sunday. Been a minute, but always love hopping on post-game, talking live, sharing some thoughts, seeing some feedback, hearing from everybody in the comments now, and especially later, and going through the news feed, checking notifications, in the morning. Just have to say how proud as a fan this is. I started this pod during the 1920 season. I was just a fan watching the games before that, as many of you were. I've long been a fan. You've heard me. Got all the history. We've had Cavs guys throughout to fill in on the times I missed. 29 years of age. I was not around in the 80s. For Mark Price, who's come on twice, and Brad and those types of guys. Larry Nance, Gerald Wilkins. Go back to the 80s, World B. Free, whose jersey I absolutely still want, despite never watching him play live. I wasn't born yet. Everyone has their eras. But always a pleasure talking Cavs. Do have some more cool guests that'll be coming on in the new year. This is Across the Cavs. We're on Network 216. Always a pleasure to talk Cleveland Cavaliers basketball, because this team, this energy is exceptional. And I just want to embrace all of it. We'll see you next time. Across the Cavs, post game, 27-4 record. Let's go celebrate. Peace.